Well, hey there, my scrappy friends. Thanks for joining me today on my channel, Ink and Whimsy. It's where I get creative with color and ink to tell my ordinary story. I'm Laura Daniels, and I'm glad you're sharing a part of your day with me. I am going to be using a beautiful kit from Close to My Heart today, my inspiration coming directly from the actual catalog. This is our April, May, and June Close to My Heart catalog. I want to show you the actual kit I'm going to be using. It's called the Scrapbooking Workshop. In each workshop, it comes with everything seen here, and you get a full color cutting and assembly guide. So not only will you be able to create these three 12 by 12 double page layouts, you'll also be able to hold on to this for future inspiration using different kits, just using the different papers in the different kits. So it is awesome. You get to build yourself your own creative design album with tips and tricks included on how to put it all together. So if you're interested in seeing how I use this page as inspiration to create my one-page layout, as well as everything in this beautiful kit, go grab your favorite cup of coffee. All right, my friends, let's see how we can bring all this together. I am following it very loosely because it's all about what works for me and what suits my style. And the photo I have, it's landscape, it's not portrait. So I'm changing things around just a little bit. I love the red, white, and blue in this entire kit. It's just so pretty and patriotic, don't you think? There are no measurements with this, so I've pretty much used my own. I want to slide this underneath a little bit. Oh, and now I put this down. Let's see. So I'm going to go over the top. Oh my gosh, the stress of you guys watching me while I'm doing this is rather intimidating. Okay. In the end, it's all going to look good. I just know it. But it's doing all this while it's on camera. It can get me all discombobulated at times. So, all right, and hopefully I'm straight. Now this is going to be covered anyways, so really doesn't matter that it's that specific, does it? All right. Now I did some faux stitching, and I want this, let's see, about right there, I think. Okay. And I have my journaling. This story takes place back in November of 1990. As a family, we were in the Navy. My husband and I both met when we were in the Navy. Got out, we got married. He was still in the Navy. We raised a family. And the Gulf War started back in 1990. And my husband came home and said, I gotta go. So January 1991, he left. We had a 6-month-old son, a home, and a dog. And the funny part of the story is back then we had no cell phones, right? And no cell phones, no email. We didn't have computers. So whenever we even spoke with each other, it was all to do with snail mail. The letter would go all the way from Jacksonville, Florida, all across the Gulf, the Persian Gulf, to where Jerry was on a carrier. And if it was ever time-sensitive information or something I needed to tell him about, we would have to send an EEgram, and it would come through the Radio Shack on the carrier, and Jerry would have to go down and pay $10, and then he could read this little piece of paper. And of course we were paying for every word, so we wrote things very clipped and very short. And hold on, I can't focus and talk at the same time. So what we are going to do, I cut this out of a Project Life card, and then I just cut it in half because I want to use it on both sides here. The first thing I want to do, I also cut this. This was one of the stickers. I cut it in half also. So I want that going about right there. I'm going to put this right underneath, lift it up because I shouldn't have stuck it down the way I did. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And I'm thinking too, I don't even want all this that close. So people, you're watching me as I'm trying to figure this out. I'm going to put this, I'm going to put it right there. Well, I think that was pretty good. Let's see. So I want, now here's another one that I took off of a Project Life card and I cut it in half. I probably shouldn't tape these down so quickly, should I? I'm sure Aaron's watching going, no, you shouldn't. And just where is my, I want that up a little higher. No, no, no. It has to come down here because I need my cluster of 3, don't I? All right. So I'm going to dry fit. That's what I should have been doing to begin with. What a goob. All right, let's see. I cut this out of a Project Life card. Oh, isn't this easier? It's called dry fitting, Laura. Okay, here we go. I like the way that looks. I need something right up here. So let's just take this handy dandy, the other piece, and we'll put it right there. Does that look silly? What? You're probably looking at it going, well, actually it has 1, 2, 3. Whoa! I cut these out of a Project Life and I'd like to kind of stick these on here, but that'll work. That'll work. All right. Let me see. What am I doing? All right, I'm going to stick this down first. All right, so while I'm sticking these down, let me tell you the rest of the story because it's pretty funny. So I had to send Jerry an EE-gram because it would have taken too long for him to get the actual letter, and obviously I couldn't email. We didn't have computers readily available back then, and yada, yada, yada. So I sent the EE-gram, and all it says was, I've sold the house, I've given the dog away, and I'm living with your mom and dad. Now keep in mind, he went up to the Radio Shack and he had to pay $10 to get this piece of paper, right? So the guy that gave him the piece of paper and anyone he shared that with probably thought Jerry and that I was very mad at Jerry. I literally sold the house, given the dog away, and I'd moved in with his mom and dad. So we think about that often and we really just start cracking up over it because things were just so different back then. And I have to tell you, I loved always getting a letter in the mail from Jerry. And it's something I think we've just lost touch with, don't you think? Just a handwritten note. Because I remember seeing his writing on the top of the envelope and knowing that it was a letter from him. And it always just used to make my day, make me so happy. Seeing his writing, his handwritten, and knowing it had just crossed the oceans to get to me. And I wanted to tell that story. You know, a lot of times we look at, remember when phonographs were a big thing, LP records or telephones with cords. This was back when we did not have, I think we had Blackberries maybe. Certainly didn't have cell phones with all the abilities we have right now. All right, so I put that up on some dimensionals. I think I need some other stuff going on here, right? As my friends in the scrapbook world would say, y'all, you need to add a little bit more. What about, and I need some color down here, don't I? I think, how about this? To kind of bring it down on there. And then a flower. I feel like I'm just doing so awful at this time. You know what? I'm just going to go with it. I'm actually starting to get a little stressed, and I don't want to be stressed. Let's stick that there. Let's stick this down right here. I want it right here. And then I want this one on top, and I'm going to use a dimensional. I'm going to get crafty here. Okay, we're going to put this right here. Now, the truth of the story is, because people got this impression that Jerry and I must have just been really upset with each other, the truth of the story is we had already planned on selling the house before Jerry went off to war, the Persian Gulf War. And his Uncle Bobby had already said, if you ever want to get rid of Lacey and you want her to have fields to run in and, you know, just the joy of being a dog that could go hunting, he goes, let me know, because I'd always loved to have her. Well, Jerry and I were going to relocate to Virginia at the time, and I was raising a 6-month-old, and I was selling the house, and there was just so much going on that his Uncle Bobby had called, and we both agreed he could have the dog. So that is the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey would always say, didn't he? Okay. Now, despite my best efforts, or in spite of, this is actually coming together not too poorly, is it? All right, so let's see. I'm going to put some blue right there. Let's stick some of this red down. Oh, it is always hard because your fingers kind of get in the way, don't they? Okay. So this is probably a good time to remind you that if you enjoyed this video and all my quirkiness trying to get it all together, be sure to hit the like button. And in the comments below, let me know who in your family was in the military, who in your family went out to sea. Maybe you yourself were either a Navy or a military brat, or you were the spouse of a family member who was in the Navy. It's not easy stuff living that kind of life, but Jerry and I always like to say we stood the watch for those we loved in this great country of ours. All right, let's see. Trying not to get my head in the way. I want that right there. And then I want this kind of sticking down just a little bit. I think this is looking pretty good, actually. I always surprise myself when I get to the end of these videos, because as I'm filming them for you guys, it's like, oh gosh, this looks awful. Why is anyone going to watch this video? And then it all just comes together, and that is just the wonder of paper. I like that right there. So that's going there. And we are close to calling this done. Now, right here, this love this was one of the little sticker words, and I put it on white so that it would stand out more. If you'll notice, there was something behind the photo that I wanted to hide. Let's get this pink out of the way. All right, my friends, I think I'm going to call that a wrap. What do you think? I want to give a shout out to Close to My Heart for yet another beautiful kit, and remember, it's called Hello Darlin. I want to give a shout out to my husband, the love of my life. We've been married 33 something years now, and this is our son Dwayne, who is now an engineer. And I want to give a shout out to all of you, because you're sticking with me as I'm learning this process and how to bring these videos together for you. Thank you for hanging with me in my quirky, fun videos. I certainly appreciate you. And that's a wrap. Until we meet again, God bless. Have an incredible day.